Hi there, it's Sandy, your sister and your friend. It's May 1st, 2025. Isn't it hard to believe that a quarter of this year is already over? Today I wanted to talk about the difference between believing and knowing. Because we're sovereign individuals and have authority over ourselves, we really have the responsibility to do some inner work to make sure we're not just following along with something that we've been conditioned to believe. And now, how I think about it is that belief is something that somebody else told us is the right way to think or way to act. It's not something that we gain through our experience. As a matter of fact, we try to make our experience conform with this thing that we've been taught or conditioned to believe. Now, knowing, as opposed to that, again, this is my thinking, it's contemplating something that I've heard from another person or that I have felt like I've gotten as a revelation from God, and just contemplating that to see if it seems true. Now, over time, what I believe to be true and know to be true has changed. And because of that, I know that this self-inquiry is really an individualized path for each of us. So if I hear something that is really far out from something, whatever I have believed before or discovered before, it might require a lot of rumination. It'd be like putting a seed in the soil and needing a lot of watering and a lot of sun in order to see that seed grow into something else. Because I have to have eyes to see and ears to hear something that is true, but it's just at a higher level than I have ever heard before or have considered before. It has to conform with what I've already established as truth, unless I've thrown some things out, which I have done that in the past. But it seems like now that there's just this escalation of like climbing a ladder, and each thing that comes into my life now needs to conform with the last few steps that I've taken. And that it feels like lately, actually, I've been going up a couple of rungs at the time. But there is this one ladder going back home. Now, if I think that this idea could be true, I need to test it out by experience. And sometimes that could happen. The divine may give me an opportunity to test it out immediately, or it may take months or years really for me to have that chance. But I need to have it borne out by experience, because if experience does bear it out, then I have greater confidence in in the wisdom that I get through this time of inner contemplation. Now, what I've found is that I have to be thoughtful about who I share these revelations with. I share a lot of these with you guys. I'll be sharing some here today in a minute, but I have to be really thoughtful, because some people I know are not at a place where this is going to it's going to make them very uncomfortable, and that's not my goal. Is not to make people uncomfortable, is not to have them be pushed beyond the limit of what they are willing to do. Because honestly, every time that we decide that we're in charge of our lives and we need to do the self-discovery and look at things from our perspective based on what we already know, a lot of times that may feel like we're trying to tear down old institutions, and that's not our goal either. Although I do think in 2025 a lot of institutions are being challenged, and I don't know where they're going to end up. But we just have to be careful. For instance, many of you know that I have a cancer. I have been diagnosed with cancer, and so there's a very slow process of having tests and meeting with specialists that I need to see. And during this time, I've decided that I'm going to be looking into things that I can be doing for myself in the interim, and that's my decision and that's my choice, and it's actually my responsibility. For me, that's how I see it for me during this time. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you today is that I have this newfound confidence in the fact that we are sovereign beings. Um, it's we were made in the image of God, and that means that we have the power and we're unlimited in what we're able to do. And that goes for all of us. It's like we're one drop of ocean water. So we're not the ocean, but we have all the characteristics of the ocean in this one drop of water. We were created with free will, and nobody can take our free will from us unless we hand it over to them. And that's what I think we've been conditioned to do in the past, really from the time of being in our family, from that very beginning. And we've made a lot of contracts, I think, both energetically and verbally. And it feels like 2025 is the year for us to just look at the contracts that we've made and determine if they're still serving our best interests. And if they're not, then we have to take sovereign control over what we're going to do and how we're going to handle that. We may stay exactly where we are, or we just may act with more authority in the position that we're in. Because really what I'm talking about is freedom, free dominion, having the dominion over our own selves. And as we act more as sovereign beings, we'll actually feel God's energy, the spirit flow more easily within us. And because if we're giving over our authority, we're actually blocking the Spirit's flow of revealing things to us. So I'm just going to share 2 or 3 things here with you. I think there are 6 things that have come to me through inspiration or through hearing it from somebody else, and I've sat with it, and I've experienced something that conforms with this, and I'm holding these things now in my heart to be true. And one of them is that life is not about choosing one side over the other one. It's about seeing the unity of all things in harmony and balance with one another. Neither God nor I, as an expression of God here on the earth, are bound by time or space. So when God tells me that something has happened, it has already happened, even if it hasn't materialized here in my life as I walk through time and space. I'm open to receive the divine in any way that it shows up, even if it involves inanimate objects or having somebody speak to me from the other realm. I'm open to all those things because I don't want to cut off anything that God has in store for me. And lastly, love is the only power and the answer to every question in the universe. And the only thing I owe any person is love. Now, these are bold statements, but I feel very confident in them because they were revealed to me either by hearing somebody speak or by having God speak to my heart directly. And then I tested them out, and through experience found them to be true for me. I would never tell you to believe anything that I say here, so please don't. But if anything rings as a possibility as being true for you, just sit with it. What I do is I hear something, if I like, wow, that's something far out and I don't know about that, I might just write it down, go back and look at it, see if, again, try it out through experience, and or either put it aside. But it might take a while to do that. So don't believe anything else, but just this whole year seems to be a time for us to practice being open. Like, are we open, actually really open to saying, I want to be sovereign. I want the responsibility that comes along with being a sovereign person. It feels like this year is the time for us to be curious to see what else is out there. There are people that we know who have surrendered to the divine, to their ultimately to even to their death here on the earth. And some of them or their followers have written books, written down the things that they said and did for us to use. And there are people on the earth today who also have surrendered a lot and are there to inspire us to know that there is so much more of God available to each of us. And maybe by us sharing the way I'm doing this here today, we will all strengthen our intuitive muscle and prepare ourselves for receiving even more divine revelations. Now, being sovereign it means that we're responsible to have mastery over ourselves. I can only be held back by the things that I'm blocking that are inside of me. So all the work is this inside job. And as I let go of whatever is blocking my awareness of love within me and choose my way will be made even more clearly to me. So this, I think, is the power to this year for power and transformation and finding balance. And I think that's true for me, and I hope it's true for you as well. Thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Love you so much. Go and be blessed. Bye-bye.